According to Wikipedia, human resource management is the strategic approach to effective management of people within an organization such that the organization or the business can gain competitive advantage. As a result, no formal organization can exist or function without formal rules of engagement in managing its people. These formal rules of engagement are usually known as human resources, policies, and procedures. Welcome to today's episode of HR Insight, and I will be delving into what are HR policies and procedures. And we're going to be doing that after taking this video message from our sponsor of today's episode.
Meet Seamless HR, an easy-to-use automated HR management system that brings your fragmented HR data into one secure, centralized database with your employee information.
What are HR policies and procedure? HR policies are continuing guiding principles on the approach of which an organization intends to adopt in managing its people. When we're talking about HR policies, we're looking at setting direction for the employees working within the organization of what is expected of them within the workplace. And what that means in essence is that your HR procedure now sets the how of how the policies must be followed by the employees. Speaking about the step-by-step approach to the guiding principle, the HR policy. Every time the concept of HR policies and procedures are usually mentioned, there is usually a little bit of confusion among them. That confusion stems from conversations of individuals feeling that the HR policy is the same as the HR procedure. No, they are not the same. The HR policy sets the guiding principle, the framework, what is expected of employees. As a matter of fact, it also goes ahead to say when situations arise within the organization, how are we as an organization going to handle or address each of those situations? That's the policy. On the other side is the procedure. Now that we have set the guiding principle, how are we going to follow the guiding principle? What's the how? What's the step-by-step approach to following the guiding principle? That is where your procedure comes in. Both your policy and your procedure tends to form your HR framework. It tends to form part of the HR system or the HR structure within any organization. Importance of HR policies and procedure. It helps managers to ensure that people management is in line with corporate values. Each of the policies or the guiding principles or the framework that have been created is in consonance with the corporate strategy, with the values of the organization. And for managers to ensure that the people management strategies and the people management practices that they are following are in line with corporate procedures, the HR policy and procedure helps to achieve that. Also, it ensures that human resource management decisions are made consistently. Remember, the organization decides ahead of time when such and such happens. What are we going to do about it? So there's a consistency bit to it. We are not doing things haphazardly or trying to show favors to Mr. A or Mr. B. We have decided ahead of time what we will do, so we are consistent. In addition as well, it helps to minimize inequality in the treatment of employees. So there is no, it's Mr. A, so we do Mr. A this way. No, we have decided ahead of time what we would do at each of the situations. Formulating HR policies and procedures. Now, in order for organizations to be consistent, not to show favoritism, and also for the people management to be in consonance with the corporate values, then the HR policies and procedures need to be formulated. In formulating the HR policies and procedures, Organizations should ensure that the HR policies and procedures cover the entire employee life cycle. Speaking about the employee life cycle, we're talking about from the point of hiring to development and the exit of the employees. Now, what are some of the critical, specific human resource policies that organizations should be able to create? The starting point of such policy is your recruitment and selection policy. This answers the question, how are we going to recruit our employees? What are the procedures that we would adopt in recruiting the employees? What categories of employees are we going to recruit? What are the processes of the recruitment? Are we going to be doing internal recruitment or external recruitment? How are the employees going to apply for the job? And how are we going to select them? Are there assessment that needs to be done? All of this will be contained in your recruitment and selection policy. Also, the learning and development policy. What is our guiding principle as relates to development of our employees? What kind of trainings do we send our employees for? At what point are we going to send them for training? Are there training needs analysis we need to conduct? All of this will be contained in your learning and development policy. Then you cannot operate without a reward policy. Your reward policy speaks to how are you going to compensate your employees. What is the salary breakdown for your employees? Compensated in terms of what are the various allowances that is accrued to the employees. At what time of the month are they going to be paid? All of that will be contained in your reward policy. Then, interestingly, is your performance management policy. Your performance management policy speaks to setting the tone and the guideline for performance within the organization. How is performance going to be recognized within the organization? All of that will be contained in your performance management policy. You would agree with me that HR policies and procedures are very critical to forming the framework for the HR structure within the organization. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. I'll see you in the next episode.